Alright, so pretty much I'll just play through this video, and if I feel called upon to just pause and give my inputs on it, I will. This was 6 days ago. Just found this guy, subscribed, because I feel like really we should definitely be trying to open our eyes, as to what is going on in America right now, in the world we're living in right now. Is very much a lot of spiritual warfare. It's the real deal. It really is. And I think this video helps clarify that a lot. So his channel will be down in the description. Let's watch.
If I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around.
Because Christianity, at the end of the day, with no proof, everything is mythology. Do you have a box of evidence that you can pull out and we can examine all the different pieces that points to the undeniable conclusion that that's true? Because if you don't, then it's a myth. Then you're believing mythology. Let us rest assured.
Like I said, it's so ironic how they're so quick to be like, where's the evidence? But then they'll just hop onto the next biggest thing as quick as they can. They're just so quick to evil and just so skeptical to God and Jesus, because it would literally call them to deny themselves. Jesus said to deny yourself and take up the cross and follow me. That is the fear of following Jesus, because you would have to change your lifestyle. It's one of the hardest things to do. So it's not the fact that there's not enough evidence. There's tons of evidence. You just don't want to accept it. That's the reality of it, because it would cause you to change your lifestyle in a way that is hard, and it's easy to sin and do evil, especially in today's society. His faith is little to none. His faith is little to none. He wants a box that with undeniable, triangular, lines and dots pointing to the undeniable. Faith is zero. Faith is one of the biggest things of Christianity and believing in Jesus and God. You have to have faith. There are moments and times that are tough, and, this world, I bet, all the time is God, where are you? Where are you? But he's always right there on his throne, same place he's been since the dawn of time. You have to have faith. If you have no faith, like Jesus said to the man, oh ye of little faith, when he was walking on the water and the man reached out to grab his hand, and he was taking a few steps walking on water with Jesus, but then the wind blew, and the wind could be deciphered as a metaphor of life and doubt, just blew through him, and then he started to sink, and he started crying out to Jesus, help me, help me. And Jesus grabbed his hand and picked him up and said, oh, ye of little faith. You have to have faith.
That those who walk aimlessly through this life will never be satisfied with the answers that our culture has seen fit to give. And the further we have run away from the supremacy of Christ, the further we have run away from the only thing that will ever satisfy, and the only thing that will ever suffice.
In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
What year was that? Holy shit. 1965. That's amazing. 65.
He don't care though. He don't care though.
April 3rd, 1965.
He don't care though. They've been talking about stuff like this, man. But he don't care. He'll find every reason under the sun to, I don't know. I need a box of supplies to show me where Jesus is. I need a box of evidence. There's evidence all over, man. Look, open your eyes. Look at the world we're living in. There's evidence all over. Bad is good, good is bad. Come on, bro.
Devil would propagate evil.
Jeez.
One of Joe's guests brought up this Paul Harvey broadcast, and Joe's response to it was fascinating. Joe had some insightful things to say about it, but I think he also missed some very important points related to it. Before they started listening to the broadcast, Joe said this about the strategy people are using to destroy America today.
I'm not shocked.
I mean, if you think about all the things that we do to manipulate other countries, I'm not shocked that someone would do that, manipulate us, and that they would do it through education institutions. That's the way to do it. You get kids, and then you train them as they leave, and then they go into the workforce. They have these ideas like burned into their head. And that's probably what all this gender confusion it is, this giant uptick of it.
Joe is absolutely correct here about the dangers of educational institutions and how they are indoctrinating an entire generation to both hate God and embrace behaviors that have been considered sins throughout history. Watch this absolutely shocking exchange between a Berkeley law professor named Kiara and Senator Josh Hawley, where Kiara says things about women that are absolutely insane.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it.
Like, the government needs to step in, bro.
Would that be women?
There's a growing trend in Western cultures to no longer refer to biology.
But the government's probably a part of it too.
Fear of offending men who think they are women. This is why we see activists like Kiara use
This woman's teaching classes, bro.
For pregnancy instead of simply saying women. These people think they are enlightened and sophisticated, but the reality is that they are simply blind, and at the root of it all, unintelligent. It should be one of the most obvious things in the world to know that women are women and men are men.
What if a man decides that his gender identity is woman?
A woman has its own duty, and a man has its own duty, and a lady cannot do the duty of a man, and a man cannot do a duty of a woman.
Can a man...
If you want to become a lady but you're a man, you have something wrong. It's something wrong in your family, something wrong in you.
In Africa, where the absurdity of gender theory has generally not destroyed the intelligence of the civilization, they understand that there is something fundamentally wrong with people who believe they are actually a member of the opposite sex, because sex is determined biologically. It is objective and it is unchangeable.
What about if someone was non-binary?
Come again?
Non-binary? You know, like like someone is
you're not a woman, you're not a man.
Yeah, someone is neither. There's something else. Is that?
He's saying we have never seen things like those. For a man, he has a penis. For a woman, he has a vagina. So we know this is a lady, this is a man.
What if it's a woman with a penis?
What?
People are laughing. Is that a dumb question?
These Africans are laughing at the absurdity of even suggesting that men can be women or that women can be.
I like how the YouTuber, the content creator, is keeping a straight face the whole time so he doesn't get canceled.
Many cis women have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a...
Her eyes look like they are about to explode out of her skull.
Recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
This college professor says that
Yikes.
men who are capable of pregnancy.
This woman is teaching college classes, bro.
Pregnancy. But let's think about that for a minute. What is a trans man or a non-binary person who is capable of pregnancy? Isn't that just a biological woman?
Just let that sink in for a moment. We went from having an argument about, what were acceptable sexual practices to then going to an argument about who are acceptable marriage partners, and now to an argument about what is a male and what is a female, what is a man and what is a woman.
So your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is phobic and it opens up people to violence.
According to this college professor, is considered phobic. The very act of questioning whether men can be women or women can be men is considered phobic and incites violence.
So the simple question that the senator is trying to ask the college professor is, I want to make sure I'm exact here, right? Can a man be a woman and a woman be a man? I think that's what he asked her.
To this college professor is considered phobic.
And it opens up, I want to recognize
is that the core of this
male, what is a man and what is a woman?
So your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is phobic and it opens up people to violence.
According to this college professor, is considered phobic. The very act of questioning whether men can be women or women can be men is considered phobic. And
so just asking the question, can man be a woman and woman be a man, is just asking the question. Like, bro, I'm asking a question. Oh, you're being transphobic. Like, and the way he puts this is good. The way this YouTuber puts this is good. It's a way to manipulate. Like, there is a lot of manipulation going on right now in the workforce, in the schools, social media, news. Oh my gosh, the amount of manipulation going on right now is insane, bro.
Violence. This is a very manipulative tactic used to silence opposing voices and points of view.
To silence opposing voices and point of view. Like, who cares about whatever she wants to, like, push with, oh, females and mans? Like, bro, that's always kind of been a thing. Like, I feel like homosexuals or lesbians have always been around. But, dude, ever since social media came around, it's like, look at me. Like, holy crap, bro. Like, the fact that, like, I'm even, like, feeling obligated to try and make a video about this to, like, you know, put in my 2 cents is just, you know, that's how you know we down bad, bro.
Countless young people are being taught this ideology by teachers and professors just like this.
Holy crap.
And really quickly, if you want to support this channel and help spread biblical truth to more people, I would be so grateful if you would click that subscribe button. Now let's watch Joe's reaction to the Paul Harvey broadcast and comment
He don't care.
along the way.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince
He don't
of
care.
darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of the serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. Do as you please.
This is exactly
Do as you please.
churches and megachurches
This
all
video was made in
right?
1965, bro.
The devil is whispering into the ears of these pastors to teach people
Look at these
to
mega
be as
churches.
please, and to never confront people with their sin or to call them to repentance.
They're getting paid. This is a millionaire pastor right here, bro.
Without mentioning the fact that a Christian's identity should never be defined by sin,
Wow.
or that people who do not repent of sin will not be.
Like, people really blind out here.
Oh, but we sometimes make I say we, maybe the Christian community makes a bigger deal out of being gay, but
will a gay person be accepted into heaven as you see it?
well, I believe
Look at her shudder at asking that question.
Church pastor Andy Stanley had a conference titled Unconditional, where he did not call same-sex behavior sin, affirmed same-sex marriage, and never called people to repentance. All
Like, pro, people really just trying to cope out here.
This version of biblical Christianity is why people are leaving Christianity.
People really just trying to cope out here. Like, look at that question she just asked. Like, people really just trying to cope out here, man. Like, they're just trying to grasp at anything in this temporary life other than the truth, the biblical truth. It don't matter what this mega church millionaire pastor says. That already should be a red flag. Like, it don't matter what this dude says. You know what matters? Who says? God and Jesus. Like, he can say whatever he wants under the sun. Any pastor can say whatever they want under the sun when it comes to a matter like that. But here's the truth. You'll find out. You'll find out in the afterlife when you kneel before God and he gives you that determination. That's when you'll find out. You'll be like, oh, but he said, but he said. Don't matter what he said, yo. It don't matter. Like, people are really blind out here and just straight up grasping desperately to anything Satan will give them to cope.
It's the version that causes people to resist.
Misery loves company.
Because they can't find Jesus in the midst of all the other stuff and all the other theology and all the other complexity that gets globbed on.
Wow, that's a really big statement. He goes on to say that Jesus did not draw lines; he drew circles.
Nah, bro. Jesus literally drew a line in the sand.
Version of Christianity.
He drew a line in the sand, bro.
Christianity is actually what is pushing people away.
You would think that Christians and churches would be the ones
Gotta read your Bible.
against the devil and against sin. But there is such a large
Go to church.
to be liked by the culture that it seems the majority of megachurch pastors
Telling you, bro, these are freaking.
defending the culture than speak powerfully and boldly against
Yeah,
sin.
churches flying pride flags, bro. I'm telling you.
Alone in Jesus Christ alone.
To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good, what's good is square.
This is the part of Paul Harvey's broadcast.
What's bad is good, what's good is bad, or square, as he said.
Joe himself has vehemently
Yeah, don't be square, be cool.
belief that is really the foundation of
Don't be square, be cool.
America and have sin flourish.
Be cool or be cast out. And normally being cool means living in sin.
Square, which is precisely what Joe Rogan does when he argues that there's
Telling you, bro.
same-sex behavior and marriage.
I just don't see how a gay marriage in any way damages a straight marriage. I don't see it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. They don't make it. Well, I don't know if anything would damage marriage and damage the institution of marriage is the option of divorce. I don't think gay people and gay people getting married in any way, shape, or form changes a bond that you have with your wife. It's just called marriage. It's a human invented thing. If we decide that gay people can get married too, I just don't see how it damages anything. I don't think it tears down the definition of marriage in any way. It just opens up the possibility that people who are gay won't be discriminated against.
Joe argues that marriage is just a human invented thing, when the reality is that marriage is an institution designed and...
Let me say something. You gotta realize history goes way back, man. Like, here we are living in the 21st century, right? Me and you, 21st century. History goes thousands of years back. I want you to think of certain things, right? Like, nothing just happened out of thin air. Something caused it to happen, right? So I want you to think of something, okay? And I don't know if that was a poor thing to say, but here's my point, okay? Who was the first person to die? Everyone dies, okay? I want you to understand something. Everyone dies. Who was the first person to be born? Who was the first person to be murdered? You know what I mean? Like, you got to think of things like this, all right? When you think of records like that, where are they? They're in the Bible. Literally, things like that are spoken in the Bible. Like, when you start thinking deep like that, I've even heard that, like, scientifically it's proven that we all come from a common ancestor. I mean, Adam and Eve, okay? Like, you gotta think about certain things like that. Like, who was the first person that died? You know what I mean? Like, just think of, like, simple things like that. Like, if you're really trying to find this evidence, this undying truth, that plays back into the part where I said, like, you have to have a little bit of faith. Okay? Like, God just ain't gonna hand you everything on a plate. Nothing's like that. You gotta earn it through trials, tribulations. You gotta have some faith, you know? No one's got all the answers but God and Jesus.
By God to be one of the foundational pillars of human civilization, which means that when the definition of marriage is obscured or attacked, it is serious rebellion against God, and extremely harmful to the future of human civilization. Joe may not realize, but some of the things he says are very much exactly what Paul Harvey is prophesying in this broadcast.
And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa.
This degradation of morality and proliferation of sexual immorality is exactly what we are seeing in America and Western culture today. And it is indeed destroying the very fabric of our civilization. Some of the biggest celebrities in our culture today are rappers such as Sexy Red and Ice Spice, who have produced some of the most degenerate music videos ever released. Music videos that have millions upon millions of...
Look at this, bro.
Country and culture
I'm telling you.
And idolizes celebrities such as these survive for much longer.
I peddled narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. Wow. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war.
Oh, he don't care, though.
Nations at war with themselves and nations at war with themselves until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flame.
Mesmerizing media fanning the flames. Bro, I'm telling you, dude. Like, this stuff is just happening right before your very eyes. Like, I try my best to just avoid mainstream media and stuff like that. Like, I really do, because a lot of it is manipulative. A lot of it is full of sin, bad stuff. Like, bros over here talking about some if I were the devil in 1965. Like, freaking flood movies with dirtier movies. I mean, this was before the iPhone. This was before like heavy, you know, computers everywhere and TVs. And I mean, they've been talking about stuff like this many years ago, man. Like I said, I'm not no Bible scholar, and you don't got to be a Bible scholar to believe in Jesus. You don't got to be a Bible scholar. All you need is faith. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to know all the specifics. Like, you could be just be dumb as a rock, but you could still be the smartest man spiritually as long as you're saved, baptized in the name of Jesus. You're smarter than most. I mean, you're ready for the afterlife. You gotta understand, this life is temporary, bro. It's not eternal. I mean, geez, like, listen to what this is saying. Like, I mean, this is literally, bro. I mean, and not even just what the video is saying of the radio host, but like the way this YouTuber here that we're watching this video of brings together all these clips and stuff like that of like Joe Rogan and just media and how he relates to that stuff. Like, dude, come on, bro. I've been knowing. Like, geez, dude, if they had their way, you'd have just nudity everywhere. I mean, unhinged. I'm telling you, that's the route it's going, bro. Like, dude. But hey, what's bad is good, and what's good is square. I'm telling you, bro. You don't want to believe it, though. You don't want to believe it until it's too late.
Harvey's broadcast is incredibly prophetic in what he says about the media fanning the flames of division and hatred, not only in this country but also across the world. Mainstream media outlets like CNN believe it is their job to propagate the radically anti-Christian ideology to the rest of the world. Here is CNN journalist Christian Amanpour.
Those are the laws that we have, and those are laws that are 100% supported by 99% of the Kenyan people, regardless of where they come from.
So you're going to get yourself into trouble, because what you've categorically just stated is that this is not an issue for us, for the Kenyan people. And
you're going to get yourself in trouble. Like, the entitlement and the privilege and audacity of this CNN news reporter to say this to the leader of another country that is like respectfully being nice and stuff, like, oh, you're going to get yourself in trouble here. Like, you're saying things that people won't agree with. Like, wow, bro.
I don't think that the idea of their privacy, their equality, their rights is important. But it's a global issue right now.
It's a global issue.
Why is it
I am saying
to you
that it
as
is
president
not
of the country?
important to me as the leader of 49 million Kenyans. And after, if you want to ask me my personal opinion,
what is your personal opinion?
After I finish my process, I can talk about my personal opinion. As the leader of the people of the Republic of Kenya, I represent that which our people are desirous, and I have no choice.
Hey,
would you publicly say?
I love her dedication to get the answers that she's reaching for whatever agenda she's pushing. I love the dedication, though.
Should not be violated, should not be abused.
Or no Kenyan.
I love his confidence and resilience, too.
Abused, should be mistreated in any particular. Every Kenyan is protected by law. Every single Kenyan. But they also must recognize that their freedoms are also must be taken into the entire context of the society.
Christian Amanpour trying to tell a world leader, the president of Kenya, how he should govern his country. This CNN journalist believes it is her job to tell even world leaders how to govern their countries, and she wants them to promote sinful behavior in the same way that
promote sinful behavior
in America, which has led to an enormous collapse of nuclear families, which are the bedrock of civilization itself. The devil has been very successful in his plan to destroy America, and mainstream media outlets like CNN are playing a major part in America's destruction.
If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellect, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door.
Dude, come on, bruh. Come on, bro. Come on. I'm not perfect either, okay? Far from it. I'm trying my best not to judge, and I'm fighting battles of my own. We all are. But let's rewind this back. Come on now.
are playing a major part in America's destruction.
If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellect, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door.
Oh, schools in America are...
Dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Need to open your eyes before it's too late.
Becoming more and more dangerous, as well as evil. Today we are seeing children who have the audacity to even physically attack teachers if they simply enforce discipline and rules in school.
The Flagler County teacher's aide who was brutally attacked at Matanzas High School is now speaking out. On her GoFundMe page, the aide, her name is Joan Nadich, says that she never took the student's Nintendo Switch away from him.
Look at this guy trucking that woman. That, like, skinny woman. Like, come truck me, bro. Like, come truck me.
That is misinformation.
And we are seeing...
Like, where are the parents? Where's the discipline? Like, you got students out here beating up teachers. But that's cool, right? That's real hard. Yeah, that's real hard, bro. You beat that teacher down, bro. You real hard, dude. You real hard.
Even implicitly endorse violence against particular groups of students who are seen as part of the oppressor class. Listen to the president of Harvard, Claudine Gay's shocking response to what should have been a very simple question.
I can only imagine her salary, bro.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no? Can't be.
One thing I want to point out, if this is her lawyers or whatever behind her, look at him. Especially this guy in the red tie. He is nodding at everything she says, bro. Reason being, he, him, her have all got people under them and they are working around the clock on this woman's dollar. I need you guys to protect me. I'm about to get hit with something. Okay, bet. Say these things right here. And everything she says, he just naturally nods like, yep, that's within the law. Like, you got straight up, like, I mean, they're working for that dollar. They're working for that dollar. She's paying that top dollar, top lawyers. Don't matter. It's good as bad and what's bad is good.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, targeted at an individual.
Look at the red tie, look at the red tie.
Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into...
Look at the red tie, look at the red tie.
When it comes to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So, the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
Keep in mind that these are the kinds of people who are in charge of educating the next generation. And with this kind of indoctrination, it's no wonder that we are seeing so many troubling signs in the young people of America today.
Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle.
American culture has become so secularized that even significant holidays such as Easter and Christmas have lost much of their intended meaning. Today we have churches that think celebrating Easter involves dropping thousands of eggs from a helicopter. And we have churches that have even canceled Sunday service because it was on Christmas Day.
If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. What'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, patriotism, immoral conduct.
In America and Western culture, we are now seeing a generation growing up on TikTok that no longer has the same work ethic that previous generations had. There are TikTok trends such as quiet quitting that glorify the idea of not working hard at your job.
Signs of quiet quitting look like classic indicators of diminished motivation and low engagement, according to...
Hold up. The trend is resonating strongly with those Gen Z and millennial knowledge workers fighting to rewrite the rules of the workplace. Signs of quiet quitting look like classic indicators of diminished motivation and low engagement, according to Joe Grasso, Senior Director of Workforce. I gotta back this up. I want to hear about this, man.
Quiet quitting look like classic indicators of diminished motivation and low engagement, according to Joe Grasso, Senior Director of Workplace Transformation at Lyra Health. That might be decreased productivity or withdrawing from the team, limiting communication and interaction to only what's required, Grasso said. It could manifest as employee cynicism or apathy about work, or staying silent rather than sharing input.
Why are trends like quiet quitting gaining traction? Well, it's because radical ideologies that are being spread on social media platforms like TikTok are aimed at subverting everything that has been traditional and normal for thousands of years. We now have aimed at subverting everything that has been traditional and normal for thousands of years. We now have an entire generation doing everything that has been traditional and normal for thousands of...
What does this say real quick?
Like TikTok are aimed at subverting...
Which of these values are very important to you personally? Patriotism, 1998 to this. Religion, having children, community involvement. I don't know.
That has been traditional and normal for thousands of years.
Importance of traditional American values has plummeted across the United States.
Have an entire...
The importance of patriotism and faith has dropped like a rock.
...of young people who have...
Oh yeah, bro, that stuff ain't cool, right? That stuff's not cool, right?
...into the idea that traditional... are bad and to be actively fought against.
I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be, and thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure.
Joe Rogan don't care.
Devil, I just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Paul Harvey mentions the devil subverting the institution of marriage in America, and this is exactly what we are seeing in the country today.
Jeez.
Listen to what popular influencer Andrew Tate, who millions of men follow, has said about marriage.
I don't think many men actually benefit from marriages or relationships anymore, and people are always going to require some degree of incentive. I think that we've set up the world now in a way where men are seen as worker droids.
And here's Joe Rogan's response after listening to Paul Harvey's broadcast.
What year was that? Holy shit. 1965. That's a...
Look at how many years have just been passing, bro, since something like this was released. I'm not just trying to like hop on the train of this video, but this video was very good. I mean, it was very good for the time that it was published. It was definitely trying to reach out to people that need to hear it. But just look at how many years have passed, man. I'm telling you, bro, like, and nobody cares. I mean, dude, I'm telling, and I've been saying that, dude. Like, I've been saying that, man. I've been saying that. The world today, they're trying to make bad good and good bad. Like, I mean...
65. Wow. April 3rd, 1965. Paul Harvey nailed it.
It's fascinating that even someone like Joe Rogan, who is opposed to Christianity and the Bible, and who promotes immoral behavior that is contrary to Scripture, can agree with so much of what Paul Harvey said in this broadcast. However, what Joe Rogan doesn't realize is that much of Paul Harvey's prophecy refers directly to him. And unless he repents and turns to faith alone in Jesus Christ alone, he remains on the wrong side of this prophecy. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a deacon, a husband, a father, a software engineer, and an amateur maker of...
That's really all I got. This guy did it well. There's a lot of people out here trying to like do it pretty well.